Good morning from the state of Pennsylvania. It's around 7:15 a.m. and the bugs are out already. I'm about to leave to pick up a couple friends to head to our first location because over the next 3 days, I'm documenting history in motion. Union Pacific's Big Boy 4014 is officially entering the state of Pennsylvania today, coming from Binghamton. It's gonna be coming through Scranton and surrounding areas, and we have plans to catch it over the next 3 days. But Reading Northern threw out a curveball yesterday afternoon with a press release of a really rare event that's taking place both today and tomorrow. Something that none of us ever anticipated, and it kind of changes the plans and throws a wrench in things because this is one event that rail fans don't want to miss. And it's going to be chaotic, hectic, frustrating, exciting, a whole mixed bag of emotions. But I'm glad I'm not doing it alone. I am picking up 2 friends, like I said, this morning. And then tomorrow, there's 2 more friends joining us. And Monday, I may or may not be alone. But over the next 3 days, I'm gonna be filming the footage for the video that you're watching now. I will be chiming in from time to time, giving you updates, showing you the environment, the crowd, stuff like that. But for the most part, the main highlight and focus is gonna be Union Pacific Big Boy 4014. So hope you stick around to watch the entire thing. I don't know what's gonna happen, but it should be one heck of an event, one heck of a journey, and one heck of a historic moment, as I've never done this before, documenting something so historic over 3 days. It's gonna be something that I'll never forget, and I'm glad I'm able to share with all of you. So all I could say is, if you're ready, all you need to do is come along with me. Well, we are on location at location number 1, which is Nicholson, Pennsylvania, and it is a mob scene here. I've never seen so many people here before, and this is just one area of it. People are everywhere in this town. It's kind of been overrun with the anticipation of Big Boy 4014 crossing the famous Tunkhannock Viaduct, coming north, heading south, right across there. Now, location number 1 I was going to go to is a cemetery up in this direction, which is elevated, but it's at a weird angle, and it's already packed up there. Another popular spot is about a mile down the road of a big farmland field, looking from the other direction, which is a great spot, but again, hundreds of cars there, and between here and there, the streets are lined. Some people are actually charging for parking in their personal properties. Some businesses are charging. We were able to find parking a little bit down the way there, walked up, and we're set up over here. I'll give you a view of what we're gonna be looking at in just a moment, but I just wanted to kind of show you what the environment's like here. We are over an hour away before the train does arrive. It's a bright, sunny day, warm, a little bit humid, but the excitement is in the air, to say the least. And there's something really cool over here I want to show you as well. So this is called State and Main, and inside here is a functioning train set. Looks like Lionel O scale. Just want to give you a peek through the window here. Up on top as well, so we've got a GD1 Amtrak. And then down bottom here, got Blue Conrail. How freaking awesome is that? I don't know what this place is, but they got a nice little corner spot here with the display. People are out here checking it out, and it's a perfect place for a train set, given the environment here of the Tunkhannock Viaduct, and also the special occasion today of the Big Boy arriving in Pennsylvania for the first time. The owner of it said, take a walk inside, get a better view of it. If I'm able to get some more detailed information about this, I will, but this is freaking awesome. I like the multi-tiers up here. You can run anything you want to any given time. You've got a great collection here. Just what you need to get in the mood for some train action today, watching some model trains. Got a little bit of everything here too. Very, very cool. Now for shots like this, I'm using my Osmo Action 4, but for getting shots of the train, I do have my Panasonic here and someone posing. Peace. Becky and Jake.
Hi.
They joined me today. They're here for the weekend.
We stoked.
And
zoomed in all the way on my camera. Oh.
so I'm gonna show you what I got here. Hopefully it can come through on the screen, but I'm able to zoom in really, really close with my Panasonic. And I also do have my Nikon with me too to hopefully get a couple still shots. It's gonna be coming again left to right. And then once it departs here, we're gonna hopefully hightail it out of here. It is gonna be something else to learn too, that our friends Adam Tereska, K-Flan the Rail Fan, and Bernie at Bernie's Model Railroad are in that field area that I talked about on the other side. There's also a paraglider riding around too, or flying around. He has a big American flag towing behind him. There's also an airplane flying right now. So like, it is crazy the amount of people that are here, and the excitement is in the air, like I said. And this town has just become kind of crazy. And I even heard reports that people were here since last night, almost 24 hours before, to get, I guess that person recognized me, to get set up for their spots. But it's unlike anything I've ever attended before. So it's gonna be a fun-filled next few days, to say the least. And I'm glad that Jake and Becky are gonna be joining me for those days as well. Yeah. Got a couple trespassers up there on the bridge. Looks like 2 vultures. They may have the best view, but they're gonna be moving once it arrives. But just to show you how far this is zoomed in. Yeah, you can see them all the way up there. We are roughly 30 minutes away. 4014 is in New Milford right now, and there's a lot of people trying to come here last minute. I mean, we're kind of last minute compared to some others who've been here since last night or early this morning before the sun rose. But we got here about an hour and a half ahead of time, which I think was just right. We were able to get decent parking, not too far of a walk, and able to get set up where we are. But now, like I said, it is filling up fast. People are everywhere. We're surrounded down where we are. This is supposed to be open for like customers and employees only. Everyone is just loading in here. The bridge up there is loaded. And I can only imagine how it is on the other side. I am hoping they do turn the music down when the train does arrive, because that's going to kind of ruin the experience. But they have been making announcements saying, you know, like, once in a lifetime opportunity, big boy coming through Nicholson. And the train little window there, train window, is definitely popular. A lot of people checking it out. I didn't bother walking through the vendors or stuff like that, not going to, but it is just a really busy, bustling area. I've been to Nicholson numerous times. I've never seen it like this, but it just shows the anticipation, you know, is building in real time. The excitement, the fever of seeing this train, it is true. It's a once in a lifetime experience. We may never see this again. And whether it be children or people much older than me, everyone of all ages is here, and it is just a really exciting environment, but getting out of here may be a whole nother story. All right, we are minutes away. It's between Hot Bottom and us. It's going to arrive a little bit after 10 o'clock. And right now, even though you can't see them all, there's at least a half a dozen airplanes circling and probably twice as many drones stationed all different places in the air. So this is being covered from all angles. And hopefully there's no accidents when this train does arrive.
We have a couple around us that... Wow.
Tommy's got a drone right above it. The echo is incredible. I have literal chills.
The guy on top of the hopper.
Well, it's the second time a big boy has come across the Tunkhannock Viaduct, but first time under its own power. What a shot. Stopped at the perfect location. It's emotional. May never see it again.
And you know what? RC too, though. You would have loved this. Pretty sure it's catch and release up
I
there.
don't know what to be doing tonight. Hotel.
The plane.
Oh, snap.
That's a cloud really making it look like that.
There we go.
Oh, there it goes.
Smoking.
She's moving.
It takes a lot to get 1.2 million on its roll.
Hey, you ain't kidding. Open that throttle.
It is open.
Look at the plane coming behind it. Just above it's going to come. After leaving our last location of Laura Music, we are now here at Oak Street Music for a really special event of both the Big Boy 4014 and Ready Northern's T1 2102. coming down side by side, and the people are here to witness it. This is going to be a monumental occasion, and I can't wait to check it out. So we're going to find our place and hope for the best. All right, this is kind of chaotic. We were requested to move, rightfully so. We did arrive later than everyone else. So we have everybody in this embankment here who is set up with an established shot. And I thought we'd be down here low enough, but apparently we weren't, so we're trying to be respectful. We're on this embankment here, but everywhere, you know, people are basically set up. We want to get our shots, but we also don't want to ruin anyone else's. But I think we are good here. I'm going to have the Panasonic zoomed in for around the bend. And this camera here, my X5, is going to be up high in the air. So at the very least, you know, I'll get some good shots of this. Maybe a shot or two of that. But it's only going to get more crowded here as we go on. And we have about 45 minutes until the trains come through. But it's going to be both 2102 and 4014. And this was announced via Reading and Northern's website. They put out a press release yesterday afternoon, kind of caught everyone off guard. We had no idea this was happening, but it's also happening again tomorrow on the way back from Nesquehoning. Both trains will be coming from that direction on the double line, side by side, heading towards the Pittston yard. So people are going to have two chances to see this, basically history in the making. But as far as I know, this has never been documented before, of a T1 and a big boy running side by side. So as we're anticipating the arrival of the trains, I did get spotted by a viewer of the channel right here. His name is Christian. He's also a train fanatic like myself, has a YouTube channel as well. And have you seen Big Boy yet today?
Once at Phoenix Street crossing.
Phoenix Street? And what'd you think of it?
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Shaking the ground and stuff.
Yeah, it's big and loud and pretty powerful. And you hear it captured again, right?
Yep.
Yeah? All right, well, thanks for saying hello, and it's good to meet you. all I can say is holy cow and wow. Literal chills when that came through. Not only seeing the smoke coming around the bend, hearing the chuffing, the whistles, both in side by side. The amount of people that were here, probably well over 1,000 people, phenomenal. Not many people were able to experience what we experienced today, but obviously I didn't experience alone. What are your thoughts?
Holy gosh.
You had a pretty close shot near the tracks there.
We'll have to see what they look like.
Yeah, she had a good vantage point.
Definitely hearing it come before it hit that bend and being able to see it sounded like going up the hill on a rickety wooden roller coaster.
They were climbing the grade, so it sounded phenomenal.
I was like, that sounds like a roller coaster. It was like, that is so cool. And then when it hit, and I was like,
yeah, I had chills.
It was,
Yep.
It's hot, but.
What about you, Jake?
It was great. Like, everything worked out perfectly fine. When I first saw it, though, I didn't see the other locomotive. I was like, oh, it's by itself. And then I saw the other one. I was like, whoa!
Yeah.
But yeah, it was definitely worth checking out. Definitely, if anybody ever gets to experience again, if it happens again, definitely go check it out.
And you will see them again. They're going to be with me tomorrow for a few more shots.
Do some more stuff
so
tomorrow.
The video's not over yet, but we are over for today. But let me just say, it was a mixed crowd here of people. We got here about an hour ahead of time. People were here hours ahead of time. And we were trying to be respectful, but there were a certain group of people that were just wanting a perfect shot, which isn't realistic in a situation and event like this, which is once in a lifetime. Having both locomotives come at the same time, there's well over 1,000 people here, and it's impossible not to have someone in your shot. As long as someone's not right in front of your camera, I like having people in the foreground. It kind of adds the perspective and the atmosphere here. But one individual came over though, he's like, yeah, 2102 is not coming. It's only going to be the big boy. I'm like, I don't think that's accurate. Well, the footage proved otherwise. That was phenomenal. It's going to be repeated again tomorrow. I don't know if we're going to get any more shots of it like that here tomorrow. But those who didn't get to see it today, we'll be able to see it tomorrow. But we are going to wrap it up today. Enjoy the rest of our evening. Get started with editing. And we will be back at it tomorrow with 2 more special guests joining us on an e-bike adventure as we do document the big boy here in Northeast Pennsylvania. Welcome to day number 2 of History in the Making, coming to you from the border of Duryea and Pittston, Pennsylvania. And as I mentioned at the end of day 1, joined by some more friends. We have pretty much a half a day full of events and activities and excitement and anticipation as well once again, because we're going to be catching the train not once, not twice, but if all things go according to plan, 3 times today. And I'll just let you know who is with me here and show you what we're going to be using as modes of transportation. So, no vehicles today. Electric bikes and 1 scooter as our modes of transportation. So, if you're wondering who's going to be with us, well, we have Jake, Mr. SmithNet, Matt PG, who's going to be riding the scooter. And we have Jake and Becky here, so, not Jake and Becky, RJ and Becky. So, RJ is riding the Bronze Hufsco, and Jake and Becky are riding the JCons. And I have what I'm calling Blue Comet, my Walkie H7 power station on wheels. They did give me some flags which I mounted up, and we are ready to head out, and I'm going to show them a few areas we're going to today, and also plan for some backup plans in case things don't go according to plan, because it's been a bit chaotic so far with all the people turning out for this event. But hopefully the first shot you see will be the arrival of hopefully not 1 but 2 trains. So we are here stationed up. We got here about an hour before arrival. If it does arrive on time, this is known as Duryea Junction. So we're positioned along the road here. This is the reason why we brought our bikes, because we don't want to block traffic or the roadways. So we have far enough room away on the sides, and we're all positioned with our cameras. Becky and Matt are up by the crossing, getting in around the turn to get some photos. I have 3 cameras going. My Panasonic's gonna be up here, getting in around the approach. You guys will be handheld the entire time. That I have my 360 mounted right here, which I could get any footage of it from any angle once it does pass by. So after this, we're gonna be heading towards the Pittston yard, and hopefully we'll catch them in action turning around the Y. But I don't know how close we're gonna get, but at least having bikes, we have a fighting chance. So we are roughly less than 10 minutes away, probably closer to 5. According to the tracker, it is only a few miles away. It is late, but at least we didn't miss it. But people have showed up out by the roadway there on both sides. It's probably at least 100 people, and people have showed up back here as well. So Not a terribly busy area, but I think we picked a really good spot for the first catch of the day. It's gonna be coming right towards us, and like I said, with 3 cameras rolling, we should have absolutely no problem getting some really good shots of it. Really humid out, really muggy. We're sweating just standing here, but we're all here to witness history in motion, so we're just doing the best we can and anticipating the arrival. On the off time, we've had a pair of F-16s flying over, doing some test flights and some stunts, doing some loops and some straight up vertical climbs, really loud, drawing the attention of everyone here. They're practicing for the Pocono Raceway this weekend, I believe. But we did hear the whistle. The train is maybe a mile or 2 away. It is on the approach. I'm not sure if it's going to come through. We hear it echoing across Oak Street, side by side with 2102. And if the plans are still correct, 2102 should be first, followed by the big boy. Should be here any minute. Cameras are rolling. We're ready. Hopefully you are as well. That's the sound we want to hear. T1 is definitely first.
Well, they know, like, I only have an hour. Like, I'm gonna be here an hour.
That's a long train. Hey, Andy! Owner of the train on the back of the train.
Freedom Bell? Freedom Bell? Yeah. Freedom Bell, I said.
Well, as you can see, it's chaos here on the outskirts of the Reading and Northern Pittston Coxton Yard, also known as the Wilkes-Barre Regional Railroad Station. There's a lot going on here, a lot of people here. We bypassed so much traffic on the bikes, so thankful we had the idea to bring those.
Yeah, that was a good idea.
But we can't stand along the guardrail. They actually have a poster for no trespassing and no pedestrians, so we have to stay on the other side of the road for safety reasons, rightfully so. 2102's over there did detach from that train, which is getting turned around. And Big Boy, I believe, is in the back of the yard now. And I think they're doing some switching on the Y. So we may or may not be able to see it here. We just wanted to come over here, see what things are like, see what activity's like, and the atmosphere and the energy. And then we're gonna head over to our third location in a little bit to catch Big Boy departing, heading towards Steamtown. There's a beaut.
Oh, look, dude, there it is over there, backing up.
Oh yeah, there's a smoke back there. So Big Boy is in the distance. They're backing the train up right now. You can see some of the diesel units over there.
There it is. There's the tender.
Oh, this is so much better.
It barely fits behind the building.
I see Reading Northern 1776 over there. Red, white, and blue.
That's kind of cool looking.
Coming right by the sign.
The ambulance is coming, I think, toward us too.
Wow. You can see the fire. We saw that yesterday on top of the Tunkhannock Creek Viaduct.
A little louder. Somebody just got out of the car.
Dude got out of the car.
Well, day 2 has nearly come to an end, but since we have 2 new people with us today, I want to find out what their impressions were. So let's find out firsthand. So, for you 2 gentlemen, I'll start with Matt. First time seeing the big boy in action, plus the bonus of 2102.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on today and witnessing that?
It was incredible. I mean, it was definitely worth the drive, and this was my first time seeing 2102 as well in person, so that was really awesome. But I mean, no match for Big Boy without a doubt, and the fact that this is the only time it's ever come across to the East Coast was definitely you know, history in the making for America's 250th. So it was a real pleasure.
So it was
see
a first
it.
for both locomotives then?
Yep,
okay.
It was a first for both. So loved every minute of it.
I'm glad you're able to make it
Yeah.
out. And for Mr. RJ?
That was a pretty awesome experience to be able to see both of them running at the same time. Unfortunately, I didn't get to see them racing each other, but I did see other people's footage and videos and pictures of that happening yesterday, at least. Excuse me. And then also the fact that they were able to run the Big Boy on Reading and Northern Track is impressive in my mind, and then it's going to Steamtown, which Steamtown, you got no excuse. You got that one sitting in your parking lot. Get it running, get it on these tracks. You know it can handle it now.
And with us having the e-bikes and Matt borrow the scooter, how'd you like getting around on those today?
It was so much easier. If we would have traveled, I mean, even though we didn't travel very far to those different locations, it would have been a nightmare to try to do it in the car. So having the e-bikes and the scooter was fantastic.
So much easier to get through traffic. I mean, we're passing cars and they're just sitting there and we're just like, bye.
Yeah, so I do want to thank both of them for coming out and making the trip up here. They're only here for the day. Jake and Becky are leaving tomorrow, and I don't know if they'll be joining me tomorrow, but I do have one more day of filming, and tomorrow is going to be questionable if it's actually going to come to fruition, because it's the most, not say riskiest location, but questionable location of getting footage of the Big Boy. So we'll see how that pans out tomorrow, but so far, hope you guys have enjoyed what we've been able to show with you, share with you, give you some of the highlights, even showing you real world circumstances of people yelling at each other, or traffic, or, you know,
oh, that never happened.
Music blaring by us. But I mean, so far everything has been going according to plan. I can't be more thankful to be able to witness all this, not only once but 3 days in a row, and to be able to enjoy it with some great friends. So the video will pick up tomorrow for day 3. Good morning from day 3 of my pursuit to document Union Pacific's Big Boy number 4014. As you can see, I am solo by myself today, and I'm riding my e-bike on the Lackawanna River Heritage Trail on my way to downtown Scranton. Now, as previously mentioned, I am not purchasing a ticket for Steamtown. I'm not going on their property, but I do have a plan A and a plan B to hopefully still see the big boys together. But days 1 and 2 have pretty much went flawlessly. I got everything I wanted to capture, and even more than I bargained for. If anything was to go not according to plan, it would be today. Today I have no guarantees. I have very little optimism, because it's not really a risk, it's more of a gamble as to if my plans are going to work out. I may under anticipate how many people are going to be here, but things could also work in my favor, especially since I'm on an e-bike. But I think I made the right decision in not getting a ticket, because from what I've seen online this morning, people started showing up at Steamtown at the gate around 5 a.m. By the time the park opened, the line was down the street, if not even longer. And there's a pair of dogs up here without an owner. Hopefully they're friendly. I don't know who they're with. Okay. Just showing life as it happens. But as I was mentioning, I wouldn't be able to enjoy myself with that amount of people. So plan A is going to have the greatest chance of seeing them. Plan B may not even come to fruition. So if nothing works out today, I'm okay with that, because like I said, days 1 and 2, I have no complaints. But regardless, we're going to give it our best effort. Having an e-bike is going to be on my side to avoid traffic and parking, and being able to bypass a lot of different things. So, but fingers crossed that something works out in my favor. So here we are at Bridge 60, and it's already seeming overwhelming with people here. There's people trying to go everywhere here, and I'm gonna try to make my way through safely. There is hundreds of people up ahead of us here. Yep, down on the sidewalk there, look at the people. Oh my gosh. Hey, how you doing? I made the right decision for sure. This is ridiculous. I mean, I understand why, but it is just beyond anything I've ever seen before. But this is going to play part in something I'm going to mention later on when I do kind of sum up and summarize this whole experience of documenting over a period of 3 days. It goes all the way over here, and that's not even Steamtown's property. There's more people here than I was anticipating. And just remember, this is a 2-hour time slot window these people are getting. So I don't know how Steamtown's doing it, but they have to keep these people in check with time as far as when they could enter, when they have to leave, to make sure everyone gets their scheduled time slot accordingly. But this is unlike anything I've ever seen. I'm so glad I didn't drive, so glad I'm on e-bike, but we need to get on the other side of the street, get out of this area, and bypass all this because it's too much for me. That was a beautiful car, and traffic is at a standstill. There's a guy walking with a mannequin's head. All right, let's just see what things look like right here. This is the entrance to the park. So they got National Park Service staff here. They got police out here. They're probably asking for ticket times, directing parking. The parking lot, or where you enter, is through there where I showed in a previous video, behind the bus station there. So it looks like all these people are, geez, I don't even know how the line is going. I gotta move though. So I don't know which way the line's going. I'm thinking it's going that way, up and in. But where we saw it start, I mean, there's thousands upon thousands of people here. I don't know how long the wait is to get inside, but maybe some people here are documenting their experience as well. I mean, St. Patrick's Day Parade brings a lot of people. This is more than I've ever seen in the city of Scranton. All right, this is plan A. Let's see if it's gonna work. We're gonna head to the top here, and hopefully it will give us a view down into the Steamtown property and to see at least some of what people are paying and waiting for. All right, looks like we're okay so far. We're doing good. Got one more level, and we should have a pretty decent vantage point. Oh, there's even people up on top of the roof up there with a little tent. A lot of out-of-state plates too. See New York, New Jersey, Florida, Connecticut, Illinois. I should say Illinois, sorry. Let's see what things look like from up here. Holy cow. Scranton has been overtaken by rail fans. And I am part of them too. I'm just not brave enough or patient enough to wait and all that. So, as I mentioned, people are entering. Also, they may have changed it. They were, maybe there's two lines. They were or are entering through the gate, which I showed in my previous video. But it looks like there's a line going down near the tower, near the trolley museum, and then into the park and around this way, because over there behind Big Boy is droves of people. But again, we started over there by U-Haul, and those people have a long, long wait. But it seems like the line's, for the most part, continuously moving, which is a good thing. I have to say, e-bike for the win. Plan A, very successful. Let's see how it looks over here. I did bring a couple other cameras too, so if we have to get a better zoom in shot or a higher vantage point, we could do so. Okay, yeah, this is exactly how I expected it to be. So here's the consistent passenger cars that 4014 was pulling the entire weekend. So it's detached over there with its 3 tenders, oil and water. And Big Boy 4012 is on the other side. So from here, we can't see both of them next to each other. That's the unfortunate part, but that's fine with me. I've seen 4012 dozens of times, and a highlight for me and for most of you is 4014, but this is why everyone's coming here, to see them paired side by side, reunited ever since they were built back around 1940 in New York. The T1 over there, 2124. Oh, and UP has some of their diesel units over in the turntable area that we saw yesterday, 1776, the yellow and the red one. I think the other one might be Norfolk Southern, possibly. Let me get my other camera out, give you some better shots. I do apologize for the wind. It is pretty gusty up here. This camera I'm using has no wind muff. That's looking where we came from. We bypassed all that. Wind protection over here. Is like a wind tunnel over in the other corner. And there's people up here with me complaining like there's kind of chaos down there where people are just kind of jumping in line, not waiting where it begins, and that's not worth the wait for some people, and they're up here, and I don't blame them. I mean, it's a long wait. It's a lot of people. I mean, for the most part, it's like controlled chaos. Again, just the size. Look at the person next to the wheels there. I was honestly expecting way more people up here. I was expecting hundreds of people up here. There's only maybe a dozen, 2 dozen at the most, scattered around. So my plan, I'm glad, went accordingly, because this was like my primary hope that this was going to work out. Plan B was going to be from a farther away location, and it probably wouldn't even be worth getting any footage. It'd just be worse than what I already captured over days 1 and 2. And I do apologize if the footage is a little shaky. I'm on a little tiny handheld tripod, and it is windy, so it's moving the camera around, especially when it's zoomed in. I see a few dozen porta-johns down there. Steamtown does have bathroom facilities, but not for that many people, so they over-prepared, which is rightfully so. Over 50,000 tickets sold between today and tomorrow, and many thousands more sold for the remainder of the duration that it's here up until June 30th. So this park is going to see record crowds over a span of 2 weeks.
What she sees. What is that? It's the big boy train. It's okay. I took pictures though, and then.
Now, aside from bringing my Panasonic zoom, which I was showing you some of the shots, the only downfall with that is that when it's windy like this and you're zoomed in pretty far, it tends to have a little bit of a shakiness to it. And there's nothing I could do about that. It's just when you're zoomed in really far, I could telephoto zoom, and it's windy and you don't have a really heavy duty tripod, you do get a little bit of shakiness. I was trying to hold it down the best I could, but it is windy right here. You can see the treetops moving because the higher up we are, the wind is just really gusting up here. So I did bring my Nikon as well, my D5600. I was getting some shots of the crowds down the street, the people everywhere around, and of course the big boy itself. But up here, I'd probably say is one of the best places you could come without having a ticket to see what this atmosphere and city is like, as well as getting a good shot of the big boy. It's also lying down here too for people to take a tour inside the UP coach cars. But everywhere here is nothing but a line. It's like a corral at a farm where the cattle is just going through the different fences and the different lines. I mean, I zoomed in and showed you a shot, which I'll show you again, just above the tender, all the people going through the lines there. It's kind of nuts. But just goes to show the force and power. That was nice. Force and power, popularity, and excitement that a locomotive can bring to these cities and towns. It's unlike anything I've ever seen in my entire life. You know, the crazy thing is that there's a lot of people up here saying they have tickets, and they're like, no, we're not waiting, because I guess people, like I said, are jumping lines, and they're so far back in the line that when they're actually supposed to be in here on their scheduled time, they're nowhere near the entrance. So people are just saying, they're like, you know what, not worth the wait, not worth the hassle, not worth the frustration or stress. They're coming up here to the parking garage like, oh, this is so much better. Granted, you're not getting a close-up shot of both big boys reunited, but you take what you can get. I don't blame them for kind of forfeiting the controlled chaos down here. I will say though, you know, park services here at Steamtown are doing what they can. I'm sure it's more people than they were anticipating to purchase tickets, and they prepped and planned for it the best they could. And for the most part, I mean, it is working, not flawlessly, but when you have over 20-some thousand people showing up on one particular day, and then day after day, some things are going to go wrong. But I'm sure as the days and weeks go on, it will kind of smooth out. Everything will go smoother and more according to plan, and people will get their time slots as they're supposed to. But whoever is down there waiting, well, for one, I do hope you get to see it. And if you don't, this is why. Because of how crazy this city has become. The Electric City and Steamtown has become one of the busiest areas in Pennsylvania for one heavy, big piece of equipment known as the Union Pacific Big Boy 4014. And on top of everything that's going on with people trying to get in here, you know, the city still has to operate as it should. I mean, there's businesses and facilities and medical practices and everything else that still has to operate and navigate around all this. On top of that, DL, Delaware-Lackawanna, is still an active freight railroad. So they're going to be coming through the yard at various times throughout the 2 weeks here. But it is, I'm just almost speechless. I don't mean to be repetitive, but like I just can't say enough. It's unlike anything I've ever seen. To see people down past U-Haul, continuing down, they said it's about 3 blocks down actually, further than we seen when we arrived. And that's why people are just kind of saying, screw it. Yeah, I see park services down there asking about time slots and if you're allowed to go in now or not. We're gonna see if we can take a ride down, find out how long the line really is. All right, so this is where we came out under the bridge, and we saw the line was already there. But does it keep going? Oh, yes. Yes, it does. Yeah, that's a long line. A lot of people. That's not counting the people that are kind of jumping in line. And it makes you wonder, you know, when's their time slot? How early are they here for their time slot? Are they going to even make it there for it? I'm glad I'm not dealing with all that. Let's go to a quieter place and chat a little bit. Forgot to mention too that the weather has changed so much from the last 2 days, because today it's about 15 degrees cooler and humidity is about half as what it was over the last 2 days. Feels fantastic today. Good thing for those people waiting in line as well. Typically when I try to recap the video and do my outros is where I struggle the most. I'm gonna try to keep this as genuine and real and as authentic as I can. I'm gonna try not to cut any of this footage, so if I do stumble or stop and repeat, I'm just trying to correct myself. Try to get everything out that I want to say without having to splice up the video, so just bear with me. But immediately following this will be a fantastic photo montage, so Out of all the great footage I shared with you, please stick around, watch that as well. Not to be repetitive, but I'm going to have to be a few times. I'm sure many other people have said the same or will say the same, but once in a lifetime experience, history in the making, something that we may never see again. That pretty much sums up what took place this weekend. And the fact that I was able to witness it and capture it and document and share it with all of you, not once, not twice, but 3 different times. It's not something that I ever anticipated happening, let alone ever thinking I'd see a big boy in operation. If I did, I figured it'd be out on the West Coast. The fact that growing up here though, and being someone who's visited Steamtown since I was a teenager, well, we were basically taught that big boy can't operate over here, you know, and I don't blame anyone for saying that. I mean, that's what was passed down and shared over the years, is that the infrastructure here can't handle a big boy. That either some of the radiuses are too small, the bridges can't support it, whatever the reason is. But we were always told that a big boy would never operate on the East Coast, especially here in Pennsylvania, because it's just too big, too heavy. 1.2 million pounds for one piece of equipment is a lot. But as we've seen though, that's not the case. UP went out, scouted the route, made sure everything was gonna be structurally sound, and that the route they were gonna take was not gonna impede their journey. And the fact that it went from coast to coast is just remarkable. The biggest thing that I'm taking away from all this is, I don't know how to word it properly, but basically the gathering of people, for lack of a better term. You know, the draw that this locomotive brought. The fact that right now we live in a, not the best world, you know, compared to past years or past decades. World's a little hectic right now. There's a lot of negative things taking place. But this is something that brought people together for one specific reason, and that was to witness history in motion, to witness a once-in-a-lifetime experience. And that is partially why I want to document this and share it with all of you, because I know out of all the hundreds of thousands of people that were able to witness this locomotive in person, whether it be on the West Coast or here in Pennsylvania, there's still gonna be millions that aren't ever gonna see it in person. So the fact that for, at least here in Pennsylvania, that's all I can speak on, once it entered our state, the amount of people it drew out, and that's just at the locations I visited, it was a heartfelt, good feeling, knowing that we're all there for the same reason. Whether you're a die-hard train fanatic, or you just like big mechanical objects, or even if you could care less about trains, you just wanted to witness history. People came out to witness it, to see it, to document it, and say, hey, I saw that in person, because there's a good chance, good likelihood it may not happen again. And if it does, it may not be in our lifetime. But thousands upon thousands of people here in Northeast Pennsylvania gathered over the past 3 days to witness the world's largest operating locomotive that was said to be never operating on the East Coast ever. And the fact that it's here on Steamtown property, reuniting with 4012. The last time they were together, I think, is the late 1940s or around 1950. And they're here side by side for 2 weeks. I mean, I've said it, other people have said it, that, I'm getting distracted, there's a little groundhog behind you guys, that if I was to talk about the big boy or talk about trains a year ago, before the announcement was made, I never would have envisioned I would have spent 3 days documenting the big boy here in Pennsylvania. I never saw that on my bingo card. And I didn't do it alone, at least not for the first part of it. Jake and Becky came up, they stayed Friday night, left this morning, and they rode with me all day Saturday. And then, as you saw, RJ and Matt came up to join us as well for yesterday. And there's a lot of things in my life that go right. There's also a lot of things that don't. And that's for most people. Not everything goes according to plan. Wrenches get thrown in your plans, curveballs, so on and so forth. But this was a weekend though, a 3-day event where everything went as expected. I was expecting the best. I should say I was hoping for the best, expecting the worst. But everything I planned out, and I told Jake and Becky, I'm like, hey, I have a dead set plan. If you don't want to stick with me for it, you don't have to, but I have a really good plan in store, and I think it's going to work out in our favor. And even, for example, when we arrived in Nicholson, we were uncertain where we were going to go. Initially, I wanted to go up to the cemetery, but then I realized it's at an awkward angle, and it was already filled up really quick. Then there was a big field on the other side of the bridge where several people I knew were over there. We were going to go there. We came really close to turning around saying, let's go there. I'm so glad we didn't, because the people over there got stuck in gridlock getting out. They weren't able to make it down to catch it in the valley, in the small towns. Where we were was ideal. Granted, we were baking in the sun. It was hot out, it was muggy, but we had a perfect vantage point. We were surrounded by great people. We were talking about the trains and the history and stuff like that. But that's getting back to what I'm talking about, though, is that the people that came out, though, they're coming from out of state. They're coming from the woodwork or the crawl spaces just to witness this in action. Even random people just walking by, snapping a picture. It just, such a good feeling. It brought everyone together and allowed us for a moment of time to forget everyday life, to forget how crappy certain things are, and just to enjoy something historical happening right in our backyard. And the fact that I was able to ride my e-bike to some of the locations or drive just a few minutes to many of the locations, I never thought that would happen. If anything, I thought I'd be driving hours to go see it or doing an overnight trip. The fact that it came to our backyard here in Northeast Pennsylvania, we couldn't have asked for any better of an opportunity. But huge thanks to Jake and Becky and for Matt and RJ for coming up and experiencing this with me. I can't speak on their behalf. I mean, I know they share their thoughts. I know Jake's making a video, and Matt and RJ did film. I don't know where they're going to be putting their content out, but I mean, you heard it in my video. They appreciated it, but I think I definitely appreciated it as much, if not more. Granted, I didn't tear up like Becky. I'm not a very emotional person, but I did get goosebumps. I had chills. I had what little hairs I have standing on the back of my neck standing up. It was just an opportunity I couldn't pass up, and an opportunity that I'll never forget. And thankfully I have this footage to look back upon, to remember and realize, hey, you documented history in the making. I don't know if the big boy's ever gonna come here again, but like I said, if it does, it probably won't be in my lifetime. Most likely it's gonna go in a museum once it's done with this tour. And for the UP crew that's putting on this tour, all I can say is thank you. You guys have done a phenomenal job, even for the most part, sticking to your schedule. Delays are expected, but for the most part, it's been within an hour of the expected arrival times at the locations. Even Reading and Northern, hats off to you guys for allowing the UP big boy to run on your rails and to do a side-by-side race. That was something none of us saw coming. Granted, it was teased. We didn't know how it was gonna happen, but the day before, Reading and Northern put out that press release stating the details, and everyone's like, holy crap, we're getting more than we bargained for. And when we caught it at Oak Street, granted, we encountered some negative people. They were yelling, get out of their shot. That's the last thing I want to talk about, though. That location was the most people I've seen out of the 2 days that we documented it. There was probably a couple thousand people at Oak Street. And now there's 2 groundhogs. Sorry, squirrel moments. I talked about it in my previous video. I'm going to touch on it here. Everyone wants to get a great shot, but this is not your everyday ordinary train. This is not the T1, it's not 425, it's not number 26 at Steamtown doing an excursion where it's been running multiple times, seen regularly year after year. This is a once in a lifetime opportunity. No matter how early you get to a spot, it's not realistic to have no one in front of your shot unless you're in a really remote area. If you go to a public crossing, you have to expect people to be there. I try to be as respectful as I can. When I got to Oak Street, myself, Jake, and Becky, we were in this grassy area, really high weeds. We trudged through it because there was a line of people behind us up higher. We were roughly 30 feet away, lower than them, and they were still complaining. And by the time the train came, there was probably a dozen people around us. They didn't have a clear shot. So the fact that they were telling us to move, I understand why, but it's not realistic at a location like that for an event like this. So all I was trying to stress is that, you know, patience is key. You're not gonna have an optimal, ideal, clean shot unless you go to a really remote location where there's no one else there. Either that or use Photoshop or AI to remove everyone else. For me, I like having people in the shot. It shows the atmosphere, it shows the environment, it shows the energy. Some of my close-up shots with people's arms in the air, that I love. As long as no one's standing right in front of my lens, like this close away, as long as I'm not standing in front of anyone's lens, we should all just be happy we're there to witness history. So that was really the worst of it that I encountered. I heard some other really bad stories of people almost getting into fights about being in people's shots. I mean, no one wants a last minute arrival come up and, you know, ruin their shot. I mean, I will say at Nicholson though, there was a truck that pulled up right in front of us, right when the train came onto the bridge, and they stopped right in front of us. Becky had her phone on top of a fire hydrant, and there was a man in a wheelchair next to us. He couldn't stand up, and the truck stopped there and blocked us. I was filming with 3 different cameras. You know, what was it? No, 2 different cameras, sorry. And Becky immediately got up, banged really hard on the window. I thought she was gonna shatter the window. She's like, hey, we're filming here. There's a guy in a wheelchair here. I mean, the guy got pissed, but we were pissed too. You can't stop in front of us like that. That's unfair. But that's the only issue we encountered personally, that where we had to ask someone to move, rightfully so. But like I said, some other locations I heard of, like, some really nasty stuff going on, which is unfortunate, but overall, it's been a really positive experience. I have no complaints whatsoever. Everything that we encountered, I have no regrets on, and hopefully everything I was able to share with you, you appreciate it, because a lot of people film events like this just showing the train in action. There's nothing wrong with that at all. A lot of people like that. They don't want any talking, they don't want anything else other than just the train. Perfectly fine. But for the people that can't come out and witness it in person, that's where I come in. I make you feel like you're here with me or with us as a group of friends. We show you what things are like. We're showing you the traffic. We're showing you the lines. We're explaining how the conditions are with the heat, or people are getting emotional, or we're hot and sweaty. Whatever it is, I try to do my best to share it with you to make you feel like you were here with me and a part of us through this whole weekend experience. The e-bikes though, yesterday and for me today, came in clutch. If we didn't have them yesterday, we would have had probably 1 out of 3 shots. Thought they were blowing the whistle. We would have had 1, maybe 2 shots at the most. We had all 3 of them yesterday. Today, bypassed all downtown traffic, bypassed all those people, rode up to the top of the parking garage, which I scouted out weeks in advance. I'm like, hey, if I can get up here, this could work. I was hoping that big boys were gonna be nose to nose. Not the case, they are staggered, but we've seen them both individually, and we got to see it at its home location now for 2 weeks. So lastly, if you did make it to the end and watch this video, please let me know what your favorite part was, whether it be a location, was it footage with, you know, the zoomed in telephoto lens on my Panasonic, was it the 360 action on the 10-foot pull-up high, was it handheld certain shots? I mean, I try to give you a variety of shots and moments and locations that I am pleased with a lot of the shots I got. Some are better than others, but as a whole, I think I did pretty well, given this was a one opportunity experience that, you know, I can't recreate that shot. And if I do, it may not come out the same. But Big Boy is departing Steamtown July 1st. It's gonna be heading back the same way it came, down the Norfolk Southern Sunbury line, going over to Reading and Northern tracks in DuPont, and taking Reading and Northern, I believe, down to Reading, Pennsylvania. From there, it's gonna make its way down to Philly for July 4th. I do plan on catching the Big Boy on the Sunbury line at one location I haven't been to during this video. It's a more of a remote location, and it's a location that I don't think it's been documented all that much when it did come to Steamtown. So I am excited. I'm sorry, not to Steamtown. It came from Nicholson to Pittston and then back to Steamtown. That I am gonna film. It's not gonna be part of this video. And if I do film it as its separate video, it's just gonna be uploaded as one short video of that clip, just because it's gonna be a neat location. There's no crossings. There shouldn't be a lot of people there. I might be the only person there, but I wanna document it one more time before it leaves our area, maybe for the rest of my life. So be on the lookout for that in the future. That's gonna be July 1st. It's a Wednesday. It'll be shared both on my YouTube channel and on Facebook. But like I said, I captured a lot of great footage, a lot of photos for the photo montage and to share as teasers on my Facebook page. The one photo of the engineer on top of the tender with his arm up on top of the Nicholson viaduct, the Tunkhannock viaduct, that photo went viral. It got shared, I think, over 1,000 times. It has multiple thousand likes and hundreds of comments. And that's one of my favorite shots I got. And that was on day 1 at location 1. To everyone else that came out to document it, hope you guys had just a great experience as well. Understandably, traffic was a nightmare, gridlock in a lot of areas, but hopefully it was worth coming out. And to all the people that are waiting in line to see the big boy at Steamtown, I hope the wait is worth it. Hope it, makes the experience, unforgettable, because a lot of people were complaining up there with me on the bridge saying, I have tickets for such and such time. I said, forget it. We came up here, we're not waiting. Day 1, that many people, it's crazy. I was blown away, almost in awe, or almost speechless when I saw the amount of people. I don't want to ramble anymore though. I wanted to get it out. Thank you for understanding what I want to share, for listening to me, and for being part of me for this wonderful, historic, history in the making, once-in-a-lifetime experience of documenting Union Pacific's big boy, 4014, as it made its way into Pennsylvania and has come to a temporary home at Steamtown next to 4012. Take care, everyone. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I'll see you in the next video.